All right, welcome. We're doing a podcast only version of One Season in the Sun. We have Rosalind Monca here, and she is co founder of Monterey Motorsports Festival. And Tanya Costa, she's the chairman of the Concorso di Italiano, and a new event from last year, the Paddock here in Monterey. Car Week is so much about Monterey. It has both the excitement and even the tragic history of motorsports intertwined in it. The Car Week is the reason that Laguna Seca exists. Car Week is the reason that James Dean unfortunately met his untimely demise. He was traveling to Car Week when that happened, and everything in between. They say it is the biggest collection of billionaires you'll ever see anywhere in the world. The excitement of it, the everything to go on to do, everything you can find, all about cars in an area that is normally dependent mostly on its natural beauty. It goes to, as everybody's going to see next issue of Santa Cruz Vibes, goes into glitz, glam, and gasoline. So we have two of the major players in here on this one. Rosalind and Tanya are joining us, and we're going to talk about their individual events and what they're doing, trying to not only make their events bigger, but where they've been, where they're going, and what we're looking to see this year. So welcome to both of you. Rosalind, how are you doing here?
Well, first of all, thank you, Brian, for having us today. Me and Tanya, we love getting together, and this is a special treat for us today. But for us, this is going to be our fourth year for Monterey Motorsports Festival, and we're very excited. We have a lot of unique, curated experiences in store this year. Since year one to now year four, every year we've just tried to improve the quality. Improve our vendors' experience, our guest experience, the overall, appearance and the enjoyment, I guess, of the guest. When it comes to Monterey Motorsports Festival, I feel like it's a very unique festival in itself. It was created off of pure passion and for the love of, European and muscle cars or classic cars per se. And it's just turned from a passion project into an actual, I feel like, festival. Last year, year three, was a really big year for us. A lot of amazing parts. It takes one whole year as soon as we finish to the next year of, Car Week, of nonstop planning. I mean, we're up, until 2 o'clock in the morning, waking up early, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. So for us, there's so much that goes into putting on events such as, Monterey Motorsports Festival and Concorso. I don't think people actually realize how much energy and effort go into planning it, into making it, bigger, better, and the best that it can be. And this year we're really excited to partner with the group ticketing with Concorso Italiano. I know they have a lot of amazing things in store, and we're excited. Mm-hmm. We're about 100 days out.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like nerve-wracking at the same time. I know the day of, when we're all, or the week of that we're planning, it's kind of like, oh my God, we're almost there. And then it hits, and I'm like calm, cool, and collective. And I'm like, why am I so calm? I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see, all these people we connect, we communicate with all year long. Everybody starts coming in, and it's just like amazing. I'm like, oh my God, this is all coming together. So for us, with Monterey Motorsports Festival, I mean, we're excited. We're really excited.
Yeah. So, because I guess one of those things that I get is that it's not like the auctions, where the auctions, like, and the auctions, I think they have an advantage because they're like, okay, we're going to put this area here, we're going to put this area here, we put the podium here, and then, we say, who wants to bring their cars? And then for like the one that's downtown, they sit there and say, well, it's this many cars, so it's 3 days. If this many cars, it's 2 days, and that's kind of it.
Right.
I mean, it's not a lot of, oh, well, we've got to prepare this, we've got to prepare this. The only thing they have to decide is, like last year, they had a few that were not across the block because they were just, moving them for some reason too much was just going to be a thing. So they put them on the side, and one of them was one of the first 50 vectors ever built. Or actually, it was like one of the first 2 vectors ever built. And it was like, well, great, but they didn't have to sit there and plan 3 months about how to do that. And
exactly.
And both of your events have a lot of moving parts there, and that is one of those things that I don't think people appreciate on that. Even the concourse, it's still kind of like you see who shows up and then they judge and then they bring them across the bay. It's kind of formulaic. Every year it's kind of the same thing. Yours, you have to create a show, and then the show has to be choreographed because you can't always have the same things all the time.
Well, and we're 22 acres of land, so we have lawn, we have, different brand houses. So, I mean, from every different aspect of our venue space, it's like, I mean, I don't want to say sky's the limit, but it's almost curating, a little festival, a little town within. You want the cars to look beautiful. You want, the venue space to be beautiful as well, because we are creating that experience for the guest.
And Tanya, I'm not ignoring you. We are going to
I'm
get there.
interested in
We're
hearing
going to get there
everything.
for sure. So some of the things that are just kind of that I think you also have to, I mean, do you walk into the fairgrounds there and then just understand the hallowed ground that it is? Like the Jimmy Plays Monterey, where the Who famously destroyed their equipment because Jimi Hendrix went on before them, basically, wowed everybody, and then they had to do something, so they basically destroyed the entire stage. That happened there. You're doing that there.
Well, yeah, essentially. I mean, there are so many different events that have events all year long there, right? I've been to numerous events there, the Jazz Festival, the fair, Cali Roots. They have a new motocross event that they're doing too in the arena. So, I mean, with the venue space, they change out things too. But I mean, structurally, everything stays there. You know? And I mean, it's you have to be creative, right?
Yeah.
You have to have a creative team behind you. And for us as well, we do all our designing, our planning. My husband, Paulo, spends hours and months and curating, all the little towns, little things that we see, how to improve it, how to make it, better each year. And I think realistically, you got to be creative. You got to have a really good production team as well. I mean, we'll set, back-to-back meeting on just how the planning's going, what's the, the color theme, and every year we try and improve that, right? So, year one, it was like, okay, this is our first time, right? So it was branded all, Monterey Motorsports Festival and flags and, different things like that. And I mean, now year 4, it's like our VIP area and the branding that I'm putting within the fairgrounds this year, it's super cute. It's curated. It's very Italian, but like with a modern twist, and just it's gonna be beautiful.
Super cute is not usually what you hear when they're describing a car event.
Discredit our
no, I'm
women,
I'm not saying don't do it, but
right.
I'm just saying that it's not usually. It's going to be super cute. It's like, okay,
right. For the men, I would say, not super cute. It's me and Tanya right here, right now. So I'm gonna say super cute. But I mean, our team does a wonderful.
That's maybe not how you're marketing it then.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
That's us girl talk, right?
I got you. No, I'm on you with that. So, here's a question. So I deem Fridays Ferrari Friday because if I go from Monterey to Santa Cruz to the station, I will eventually see a Ferrari between here and Santa Cruz. I will.
Or a few.
It just somebody taking their Ferrari out for a walk. That's the thing. Very rarely do I have to go to Forza over behind the airport to see one.
Okay.
Does your husband Paulo ever just go to Forza just to hang out with the Ferraris? I mean, does he know them?
No, he's a busy guy.
Okay.
You
I
know?
just, he doesn't, I do, I drive by, I'm like, what do
Right.
they got in there? Okay. So you were talking earlier about how Paulo, who's not with us today, but you can give us some of his input, I'm sure. How he developed the love of cars and how you guys kind of combined that together on the creation of Monterey Motorsports Festival.
Yeah, I would just definitely say, I mean, Paulo's born and raised in Sardinia, Italy. His father was, and he's still today, a mechanic. So Paulo grew up in a mechanic shop. His house was on top and the garage was on the bottom. So for him, seeing the European, the Alfa Romeos, the Lancias, all of those come in, to get worked on, and seeing, Maranello, where Ferrari is located, being, born in Italy and being Italian, that to him is like, oh my God, the dream, right?
Yeah.
They look up to Ferrari, to Lamborghini, those kind of brands.
Mm-hmm.
And him, coming here and seeing all of what we offer, I guess, right, Tanya? In Monterey, we grew up with muscle, with classic, with, low riders
and
different, various varieties of cars here. But for me and Paulo, that's the world I grew up in, was muscle, American classic. And then Paulo growing up with the European love. So for us, we've been to numerous, different car show events and seeing every one of them and being a part of a few too with, helping with different events. We're like, let's do something.
Yeah.
Let's do something. So it started on our dining room table as an idea, a passion project per se, right? Let's try it out. And now it's actually turned into a beautiful, event.
Yeah.
So having both of best worlds, I guess, combined.
Yeah.
We have a variety of everything for anybody. That was the goal. Also, we have children, so, making sure the kids weren't bored. They're not, telling us, hey, we want to leave. We're bored. There's nothing to do. Bringing in our community, too, because I know there's a lot of people that just dread, they hate, Monterey Car Week's coming. Oh, my God, everybody with their loud engines, all these out-of-towners, in reality, we're actually really lucky because this only happens one other place, and I believe that's in Europe, that actually does a week-long, almost I think there's like a week and a half event,
Yeah, it used to be called Car Week when it was 5 days.
Right.
And now it's called Car Week when it is like 13.
Right.
I mean, you're just kind of like, well, the branding is still there. So yeah, you can't really do too much to change it. But yeah, it has grown. I mean, they're doing stuff on Alvarado on Friday night, the Friday night previous to the Sunday. So that's 11 days out. They're doing stuff that, Wednesday and Thursday now. I mean, so there's your 13 days. And it is just amazing how much it has grown just in the last 20 years, even. I mean, 20 years ago it was 5 days.
Right.
And now it is gone, 8 more days and I dare say what used to be the penultimate and only thing to see is sometimes a skip because it forgets the locals and it really is not as involving as it used to be. And it's just kind of a, and I think some of the new I think some of the older events need to look at some of the newer events and be like, maybe we're falling behind and maybe we're not.
I mean, at the same time, Brian, every event is different in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I kind of love because you can go anywhere and you see something different or, the event is totally different than anybody else's. So for Car Week, I mean, for us, it's exciting even though we're planning. We love to, we have a team that obviously is working nonstop. Mm-hmm. So for me and my husband, we like to get out. I love to go visit other events, see everybody. It's like I feel like a little kid when everybody's here. I mean, especially where our office is located, everybody, unloads all the vehicles right here. So we're outside. I'm like, oh my God, what is that? Let me get a picture. That's beautiful. Oh, look at that paint job.
Yeah.
So I definitely think Monterey Car Week in general is its own unique.
There's so much. There's so much to like.
Right.
Whether you're low budget, high budget, being here, there's so much to like. And the people that avoid it, I'm like, go ahead. You're less traffic. Okay. And here's the advantage. If you live here, you know how to avoid like Saturday afternoon when you can't go down Fremont or Del Monte.
Right.
I know how to go around. It's
Right.
like, it's not that hard. I'm not going to tell everybody because I don't want to see you on my workarounds. But yes, there is a way around. Just look for it. Use your maps. We're gonna turn a few minutes here to Tanya Costa. She's the chairman of Concorso di Italiano and the Paddock. Concorso di Italiano. It's been around for 20 years.
No. We're celebrating our 45th year.
45th. Oh my goodness.
41st.
I am
big,
cutting that off like a bunch. Okay. How big was it when it started? I know now it was like 400 something cars last year.
Last year we had a little over 600.
600.
cars.
Okay. Yeah. I'm selling it short. Yeah. It's, so talk to us about how you started, how you got to the Bayonet and Black Horse course, and and where we're going from here, I guess. Really.
Great. So I was an employee, a volunteer for Concorso Italiano starting in the year 2000. I sold T-shirts in a tent for Prestige Auto House, and then the chairman came and said, we're really short. I need another volunteer. So he moved me from selling T-shirts into the office where I was answering phones and working as the receptionist concierge. From there, we had our transporters coming in. And the person who was supposed to be offloading the transporters didn't show up. So he told me, get in the parking lot, start offloading these cars until I can cover it. And that never happened. I was the transporter girl for several years. In 2018,
That's a long time not to show up.
Yeah,
I know.
Really,
You missed a lot of work.
I guess from my perspective, I've probably done every job at Concorso Italiano, from volunteering, selling shirts, to now the chairman.
Okay.
I love that. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we're local. I think Rosalind and I were here to talk about our combined efforts for Monterey Car Week, and Rosalind and Paolo are local. I'm local.
Well, he is local by way of Sardinia, but yes,
local.
He's local now.
We're local love. We love our community. Outside of the car show, I run a nonprofit here in Monterey County that supports the community. We have a grocery store that's absolutely free to the community, and we partner with Red Cross and the Department of Emergency Management to support our community whenever we're in need. And the car show, and I worked for the local school district, MPUSD, for 12 years. So I started with Monterey Car Week because I wanted to see all the dollars that come into our community being given to the organizations that are here year round. So that's how I started. And that is what's really important to me.
Yeah.
And again, people in our community don't necessarily love Car Week, but we're making sure that there are at least 2-3 shows that are community friendly. So
we support over 25 nonprofits from day one.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
Pebble Beach,
the Pro-Am is that, yes, there's pro golfers coming in. Yes, they do all that, but all the money that they collect from people that want to play with all that goes into a nonprofit to help the local community, not national. It doesn't go nationally. It stays back in the community. And put up with traffic for a week because it helps. All of this helps out.
I don't think enough people actually think about that and actually realize that, and that's a big thing, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and that's how I started. I started because I wanted to make sure that my community was well represented during Car Week, and that the money that was being spent here was given to our local organizations that make immediate impact to our community year round. And I also, when we talk about back 40 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of competition when it came to car shows. Today, like you said, we have over a week. It's like Car Week times 2.
Yes.
And with that, when I became chairman, I think I reached out to Paolo and Rosalind and other car organizers, and I've taken a different approach where I don't want to be competitive with anyone because it was becoming a very competitive week. I wanted to be collaborative. I introduced myself to people, and I was just like, how can I help you make your show the best and make my show the best? Because I remember people were coming to me panicked, like, Monterey Motor Festival, they have a roller coaster. And I said, that is amazing that they have a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to put a roller coaster on the golf course. We're not going to do donuts on the golf course.
If you can't do a...
But
and
that's
like I said again, every event is different.
Every event is
different. Its own special, beautiful way.
If you want a roller coaster, you go to the Ferrari theme park in Dubai.
But what we have right now is we have the different personalities for our events, and we're playing up to those personalities. For instance, if someone comes and they're in their early 20s and they're just kind of like, I want to see some great cars, I say, come to Concorso. We're charming. We're during the day. We have a beautiful view of the ocean. We have an array of cars that are just driven off the lot, coming to this beautiful golf course, to some really historical cars that you can learn from. I mean, last year was one of my favorite years with the Cheese Italias.
Yes. And actually, two of my favorite displays all of Car Week last year were both there. One was there were 20 spikers ever made.
Yes.
And they were there on Friday night at the Paddock, which is your other event. And then Friday and Saturday, I cannot remember the name of them. I'll think of it. The guys that made the better versions of the Ford Daytona and the 65 Mustang. Superformance. And then they had their brand new 65 Mustangs that were better than the original. And I'm like going, I want one of these. I did all week when I go home.
Again, just like Rosalind, we have some great curated experiences. And for me, what I'm trying to do is I'm unique in the way that I worked for Frank Mandarano, who was the founder and the first chairman. I also worked for Jack Wadsworth, who is the second chairman. And I worked for Tom McDowell, who is the third chairman. And I've embraced everything I've learned from those three gentlemen. And I am forging my own path by embracing the heritage, embracing the traditions, and then moving forward, because it is a competitive week, and there are several shows that are opposite of Concorso Italiano. So we're bringing in some new aspects. But what's most important to me about our event is that the people feel like they're coming into my backyard. Everything and everyone there has been vetted, has been curated. I let everyone know from the volunteers. We have 500 volunteers on site. We have our staff. We have our vendors. We have our sponsors. And one thing I share with all of them is I encourage you to speak with our guests, because they're here to have conversations about the love of cars. From the newest 2026 Ferraris that come to the 1952 Cheese Italia. That was one of the first race cars in Italy. If you were there, you remember, and it's still one of my favorites, that they used to race in Italy, and they called them, I think, either the husband and wife or the brother and sister. And they were able to find both of these cars that used to race in Italy, in the United States, and we reunited them on our. Amazing. I know, it was so cool. So we reunited them. Either the brother and sister or the husband and wife. There was an Italian word for it, and for the first time in forever in the United States, these cars were side by side, reunited. So that was, that was the personal, when you talk about the ladies touch a car week, the women are, that was something that was very special to me. So we got them a tent, and we made sure that the owners were comfortable in lounge chairs, and we encouraged people to go to the Cheese Italia display and talk to the owners. And we had history books there. So that was amazing. And then, of course, the Spikers.
Yes.
The Spikers were amazing because it's a sports car. It's a hypercar that no one rarely sees here. And that was the largest gathering.
There's only 20 of them. It's hard to see them.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful display.
The riveted like 20-piece bodies. It's crazy.
And the interiors.
Oh gosh, yeah.
So I love doing things like that.
Yeah.
And again, our personality is charming. It's during the day. You have some prosecco. You eat some charcuterie. You talk to the people. You can get your car judged, or you can be right there, in front of the cars that are being judged. We have FCA that comes and they do their concourse judging on our field. So when we end at 4, they actually present their awards. And then you go to Monterey Motor Festival, because, so we're going to say this, and I'm going to kind of go back to Rosalind's sentiment when we're like, when it's done, you're like, what do we do? So the same thing, Saturday, you just spent this great day. And then what do? You always want to do something else.
Yeah.
So you go over to Monterey Motor Festival and you get all that angst out because you're dancing. It's like bright lights. I don't think, whatever they have planned. Last year was donuts. You guys announced a revving festival this year, or a revving contest.
We have a bunch of things in stock, and I'm pretty,
so it's
excited.
She's holding back. She can see it, but she's not talking. No,
I told Brian I'm going to hold back.
No, exactly.
So, I mean, I love my event. I've been with us for 20 years. There is a possibility of the event being canceled in 2024. And I think I was in the right place at the right time, because I think no one would have had that empathy, that compassion, that there's no way I'm going to let this show go down in history being canceled.
Yeah.
So I had that drive in me to ensure that we continue, to ensure that the people who come, for 40 years. I mean, when I hear stories of people, just this morning, we were in an interview and the guy who was interviewing me said, I've been going since 1987. Yeah. And all of our judges, they've, when I ask them, so what's your history of Concorso? Because I'm really about learning. Yeah. They're just like, I've been here for 19 years. I've been here for 20 years. I
love learning that about people, or, the history behind it.
So Concorso Italiano is for them. I don't ever call it my show. And I think, people say, oh, did you always grow up to want to be a chairman? And I said, absolutely not. I wanted to sell shirts at the car show to give back to the community. But I am so enjoying my time. I think I'm where I should be, and I'm doing my best to drive this ship and embrace the past and, move us forward. So it's fun. It is so much fun. I love it.
Yeah, and that was kind of and then of course last year, you started a second event which was more about the racing cars and the non-street cars, which was really kind of intriguing to me.
When I talk to people, people are always saying, oh, I wish we had this. I wish they had that. I hesitate. And I'm very respectful to all the other events. Like, you can't touch Quail, you can't touch Pebble Beach, because those are like 2 pillars of Car Week. But, on Friday night, when you hear what people say we need, it's like, I can't get a reservation for dinner, or if I do, it's, party is 6 and then we have to be gone in 90 minutes. Yep. So Friday night was really a place for people to hang out safely at Car Week. They can drive right up to a tent. We have about, 10 to 20 food trucks. We bring in chefs. So people can enjoy a private cabana with a chef making them dinner, and they're not worried about, there's only 6. They can bring in as many people as they like and have dinner prepared for for them as if they were in a restaurant, or they can bring a blanket, order from the food trucks, and have a picnic under the stars while looking at cool cars and entertainment. Last year we had a DJ. This year we're going to have some live music.
That's cool. See, now I'm going to say this about that. Of the events that we went to last year, doing our coverage around there, you guys did the best food job. I am just telling you. Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
We keep hearing that.
It was.
We keep hearing that.
Hint, Rosalind. Yes,
Yeah.
just.
Okay.
But it was a definite different feel of the event, even though there were some of the same displays over the weekend. But I mean, are you going to lean even heavier into the race cars on Friday night, or how are you looking to, do something different this year?
So it's funny because it's still early.
Yes.
And there's so
I
think
Rosalind
and I are both
spill the tea right now.
Yeah, Rosalind and I are like jiggling in our seats because it's still early. But I mean, stay tuned because we have some really awesome things coming up. And the fact that, we're being collaborative.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be super amazing, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, at Concorso Italiano, like I said, we have our general admission. And with the general admission, you come in and we have plenty of food trucks. We have the Italian trio. People are dancing, enjoying charcuterie, champagne. And then we have our VIP ticket. And with our VIP ticket, we have a large tent, a dedicated bar. We'll have some Italian beers, limoncello wine, great Italian country food. And then our most elevated experience is the Chairman's Club. And the Chairman's Club is inside the clubhouse, and we have different food sections, and we have Italian people who are serving the food. Like when they come, oh, Tanya, what would you like to serve in the Chairman's Club? When we do these tasting menus, I tell them, you're from Italy. This is what you're from Italy.
Yeah. You should know. You should know this. Yeah. Why am I telling you?
Well, that's what I said. I said, cook what you would cook in your backyard if you're inviting your friends and family. What would you make at a wedding in Italy? Yeah. And that's what they served.
Yeah.
I love it.
And so year two, I guess you're not breaking any new ground right here. But year two, I mean, is there anything that you can tell us about what we're expecting year two for us to step up that Friday night?
I can announce a few different things.
Okay, more into the mic. There you go.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So last year we had an award. It's one of our specialty awards, and it is called the Chairman's Award. Last year we invited the cars over the last 40 years who won the most trophies on our field. And we, 40 years is a long time. Yeah. But we had, I think, 7 cars. And it was the first time that Jack Wadsworth, who was a former chairman, and Tom McDowell had been invited back to Concorso. And they were the judges for that award. Yeah. And then this year, what we've done is we've sent out an invitation to the cars that have won Best of Show over the last 40 years to come and compete for the Chairman's Award. And we have 12. We've confirmed about 12 cars coming to compete for the Chairman's Award. So that is a part of me embracing the past by inviting former winners to our field and to receive an award called the Chairman's Award. Yeah. That is voted on by the current and former chairman. Cool. So that's pretty special.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because, and as we, we're always talking about racing out here because we have, the track and everything. I remember, what was it, 15 years ago when they trailered in an open trailer, which was kind of interesting. And then when they got it, they trailered it in a closed trailer, but then they put it on a flatbed to make sure it went around, where they brought in, when they brought in Hamilton's McLaren with the West branding on it, and took it to Laguna Seca, and it drew 10,000 people for a car for not a race, for something to do 4 laps on there. And that was one of those years that they were saying, hey, spend $25 and you can go around there for 3 laps. And I'm like, oh, my motorcycle's set up for this. So I did the 3 laps, and then they were like going, well, we're still open here, because it was winding down a little bit. They said, well, what else do you have? And I'm like, well, the only thing else I have is my Grand Caravan. And they're like, bring it. I'm like, okay. So I've literally driven my Grand Caravan on Laguna Seca. And, well, I don't have it anymore. I should have.
my Ford Explorer
on
it.
Exactly. I mean, you just run what you brung, you know, and it's the fact that it was a terrifying experience coming up over 11 down to 12 because it was like, am I going to leave the ground?
Right. And then when you're going up that one hill that does this, my car's like,
oh no, I had the big motor in that thing. I was up and I was kicking, and then it slid out a little 11, and I'm like going, okay, am I going to end up in the trees? I don't care. We're going. You know, it's like so much of that stuff is the combining of the consumer to the uber ultra, you know, bringing, you know, 5 cars that are going to sell them for $1 million a piece kind of person. And that's one thing about both of these events. Both of these events can attract all of them. And that is always just kind of that's kind of a, you know, you're like, okay, yeah, I can see everybody doing that. And you were right. Friday night was always just kind of a, you know, an empty spot. And then I guess that's where you put your event on Saturday?
Well, Saturday night too, because we also like to enjoy other events,
right?
Yeah. All the events.
Yeah.
I mean, they're magnificent. But for us in general too, it's like Saturday night, there's nothing to do for Monterey Car Week. And so I think for us, it's just, let's party. Let's do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and I'll tell you another night, there's nothing Sunday. Sunday, you're just like...
Well,
I'll tell you.
But Sunday's always been, you know, we go to Pebble Beach and...
So there's...
But Sunday night, there's like... It's a wasteland. You're like...
I think everybody's ready to go home or packing up.
Yeah, but I live here. I ain't going nowhere.
Right? Yeah.
So you need to have an event just for him.
Yeah,
right.
just for me.
Just for Brian.
Sunday night.
Sergio and I will hang out with his dog, and we'll
do
just do all that.
Well, I love Monterey Car Week.
Yeah,
I love that we're communicating more. And so cars that want to register for both Concorso Italiano and Monterey Motor Festival, we have that. I think that's one of the things that caught your eye is you can go to the website, you can buy registration for both Concorso and Monterey Motor Festival. With that, you know, people are like, oh, you know, they used to have to choose which one I'm going to go to. And we decided together, they don't need to choose. They can come to Concorso at 4:00. We're going to have an area in our parking lot at Concorso for all of the cars that will be going over to Monterey Motor Festival. So from Concorso, once they're all gathered, then they'll parade over to Monterey Motor Festival, where our coordination will be like, hey, all the cars from Concorso Italiano are entering our event. And, you know, I would imagine we're going to have, because right now we have about 20, it could get up to about 50 cars parading from us to them. And we've given the opportunity for the people who own the cars not to have to choose which event they want to go to because of that collaboration.
Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to throw another event in there that I think you're going to get some triple header people for. The juvenile diabetes event down in Carmel, where they have the Ferrari event at the barnyard.
FOC?
At the barnyard.
At the barnyard. Okay.
I imagine you're going to have some people going from Concorso to the Monterey Sport. I imagine there are going to be some triple header people now because they come in, they walk around, they're like going, oh no, I can't drink too much. I've got to be able to drive, and then they are looking for something to do after they leave there. So I'm going to say you're going to get some triple header people.
Well, you say that louder. Say that one more time.
Yeah,
we're
going to get some triple header people. I'm going to reach out to Mike and say, Mike, you gotta get the people. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna send him an email. He's gonna know about this.
Just, like I said, we're Monterey. Monterey is very hospitable.
Yeah.
And we're local planners, and my goal is to make everyone feel welcome.
Yeah.
We also, we want to make it affordable too, right? Our economy right now, we won't go into that, right? But just in general, things are, super expensive, overpriced right now. And if, we can do a joint ticketing and, make it affordable for guests of Monterey Car Week. That's what we want to do. We're for the people.
Yeah. There was, you were mentioning, women in cars earlier, and we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the prancing ponies on Thursday afternoon.
We love them.
That is, the one thing I like about that is the car has to be titled in a woman's name. Either fully or partially, it has to be titled in there. And I started ignoring talking to people if they didn't actually drive it, if it was just in their name and they never drove it. I'm like, if you're not going to drive it, dude.
This one has a very beautiful car.
Oh, no. Yeah, see, but that's the thing. That's the thing. We for a while, we're doing these things where we call it daily driver interviews. If you didn't have 1,000 miles per year on your car,
right,
you were not eligible to talk to us about it because you were not. I mean, somebody can have 20 cars, but if they're not putting 1,000 miles a year on it, I don't want to hear about your car because you ain't driving it.
Well, they say work hard, play hard, right?
Yeah,
you got to get out there and enjoy these.
Which is why Ferrari Friday exists. I mean, it is because I know I see a couple of the same ones as I go from Monterey to Santa Cruz, but it's every week there's something different. I'll be getting almost to Capitola and be going, oh God, it's getting close. And then there'll be a Modelo or something, or not a Modelo. She was walking in there and I'm thinking beer for a second. I don't know why. And you just have all of a sudden you'll just see, whatever just as a daily basis. Where Car Week is almost all year around here, it's just you get more of them coming in or people all pulling them out at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think that's when all of, a lot of the locals, I mean, we'll go for a Sunday drive. Like you said, you need to drive the car, right? So for us, that's a big thing too. Let's go to lunch. Let's go to breakfast. Let's get out. There's, beautiful cars and coffee events. I feel like more and more are popping up around Monterey County right now. The younger crowds, are bringing them in because it all starts also when you're young.
But let's get a public service announcement here. Do not take your car to Home Depot parking lot after hours. They will arrest you.
We definitely will not be doing that.
Do not do this. It is not a good idea.
Yeah.
It caused a 2-hour traffic jam as I was trying to leave somewhere on Saturday night last year.
What's Home Depot doing?
Well, Home Depot. Yeah, I was like, I was sitting there going, what is going on here? And then, the 50 police cars that were there, I'm like, this is not approved.
I just want to say, Brian, I really think, those are the younger crowds that come in who, they may like the cars. They probably not attending any of these events. They're just like, let's come. Oh my God, there's so many cars in town, you know, so they want to join, but they got to do it smart.
They got to do it smart. You have to do it responsibly, right? And you have to do it legally. Yeah. And yes, and I
definitely not in Home Depot parking lot.
No, because we
do not encourage that.
I had someone that was in the know let me know how much damage was done to the parking lot, and it's not cool. Don't do it. No. Don't do it anywhere. Especially don't come here and really mess with law enforcement that is already overworked. And don't go 100 miles an hour through the tunnel. These are all public service announcements. Don't do these things. Okay, yes, there we go. Let's Rosalind, tell us something that we need to know about Monterey Sports Festival, or Monterey Motorsports Festival. Let me say it right. That maybe everybody doesn't know.
I mean, this year we are working on having some new brands come in. I will say that much. Like I said, we're waiting till the end of the month. There will be more announcements. We're focusing heavily on our entertainment. I think that, like we were all discussing earlier, I think that's what Monterey Car Week is missing is entertainment, fun, the excitement. We are going to have a killer VIP area this year. And the entertainment we're stepping it up.
Cool.
So everything from, the guest experience, our vendors experience, the entertainment, the atmosphere that we're creating this year is going to be a notch up from what it was last year. And if you attended year 3, you know how exciting it was.
Yeah.
That was actually the first year I actually got to enjoy our event a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how is it?
We were running around crazy.
How is it having the largest by volume auction right behind you? I mean, how much runoff are you getting from that?
I mean, are you talking about Meekum Auction?
Meekum, yeah.
Yeah, so Meekum Auction, I mean, every year, too, they partner with us. They bring cars in our event.
Yeah.
I want to say, I mean, not a lot of interference.
No, I mean, not interference, but I mean, how much
like
of
foot
people...
traffic?
Yeah, foot traffic. People coming over and saying, ooh, taking advantage that it's, they don't have to go very far and it's next door.
Yeah, no, I mean, we get a good amount. I mean, last year, total attendance, we were over 7,500 people.
Yeah.
This year, we plan to have over 10,000.
Okay.
So, I mean, every year it's gotten better and better.
Yeah.
Meekum actually has been with us since year 1.
Yeah.
We love Meekum Auction.
They are, they have come on the show every year the last few years. I thankfully got to talk to John Crammon about 6 months before his unfortunate death. And if there was, I'll be honest, if there was anybody whose life I could have lived instead of mine, it's his.
It's his.
It's his. I swear to you, it's not being a quarterback. It's not being, this guy, that guy. It's the fact that he just got to be he was in a band. He got to be around cars.
Exciting.
It was he just lived a life that you're like, we talk for an hour and a half and on the air, and then we talk for 3 hours at dinner afterwards. And I'm just like, oh, it's over? What? It's over? But he was like, oh, you're coming to dinner, right? And I'm like, yeah. And just people
cool
like that
group.
are just
they're a good group of guys.
The Meekum people are so top notch. They are so accessible, and that is kind of the thing where a lot more of the events that are coming around. I mean, even the exotics on Broadway, it may be hard to get to, but it's an accessible event. It's like you go there, and it's an event where everybody can go, and it's like, if you can get there, you can do it. And that's one thing I like about both of these events. And Abby, you are writing just furiously over there. What are you trying to get Tanya to talk about here?
I was going to say, I do love Exotics on Broadway. I think when they came, they brought in the types of cars and they made it accessible for everyone.
Yes.
So I do love that event. I wish it weren't directly against ours, because I would go to that every year if I could.
Yeah, it's. I'll be honest. I liked it when it was. Was it Friday night when it was down on Cannery Row?
It used to be Friday.
Friday night on Cannery Row.
Yeah.
And I liked it there. I mean, I understand some of the logistics and all of that, but I don't know. Everything changes, of course.
Everyone.
There's something. Yeah. I mean, I also keep saying, well, that parking lot they use for the PGA, you could move it over there. It'd be so much easier to get to.
I love what Johnny and Amy, what their vision is, because I had offered to let them come to the golf course because they were outgrowing Broadway. Yeah. And
they outgrew Broadway first year. No,
yeah. So they were, but their vision, and they stay true to their vision. They just love that street vibe, and and they're absolutely correct.
It is true. I mean, I just look at space around, and I'm like going, man, getting in and out. There is something to it. The fact that you're taking a bus there is notwithstanding, but everything has both its good and difficulties, and there's something for everybody.
Yeah,
yes.
There's some.
All right, now Tanya, tell us what Abby's writing over there.
Here, this is where we're going to pause it, and we're going to send it over to her.
Oh,
remember?
Oh, yes. Hold on.
I don't know what you want to say. Oh, just the fashion.
Yes. Abby is. We're going to hear from Abby now, because Tanya's not letting her get away with furiously writing at her and just not saying anything. So go ahead.
Oh, I love you for it, Tanya. No, just one of the things I was thinking that's kind of fun to talk about for Concorso Italiano Day is we've partnered with a longtime vendor, Rosa Corsa, and we're going to do a Dress to Impress Your Car fashion show. So anyone's welcome to register, and if you have a yellow Lamborghini, come in your best yellow outfit, head to toe, whatever it means for you. And then she's got some goodies too that she's given away to the participants. So
Cool.
yeah,
Cool.
it's just a
Is that going to be an award as well?
best dressed.
Best
well,
dressed?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
It's got to be
So you're
something.
coming on over?
Yeah, I might have to come over there. I mean, it's before our event, so,
Yeah.
Well, I did tell Paolo that I would love to see both of you at our event. I'd
Of
give
course.
you passes to drive in
Yeah.
and drive out so you don't have to deal with any of that. And, walk around our field, see if
No.
you see any cars you love. Raffaello did that last year,
Yep.
and it worked out well. So
We're going to have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might have to come dressed to impress in my best
Yeah.
matching car accessories or outfit, not
Yeah.
accessories.
Yeah, no,
All
it's
the
fine. You can call
above.
it accessories. I don't care. I'm just saying, don't brand like that.
Well, then some of these girls get creative too.
Yes.
I see some like really
Yes.
creative stuff
Yes.
for
Yeah.
Car Week, and I love it. Every year, I'm like, what am I gonna wear? What is what's this vibe of this event?
Exactly.
It's so fun. This is kind of a play off of a couple years ago. We did a similar thing, but focused on your hats.
Okay.
And there were a lot of cars in the hats and creative, the artistic fashionistas that come in and, play on that. So this is expanding it a bit
Right.
for the
I love
creativity.
that. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
It will be fun.
And then I'm going to ask hold on here a second. I'm going to ask the same question of you, Tanya. What are a couple things that maybe the public doesn't know about, well, the paddock for one, and the Concorso di Italiano as well, that they should?
Well, I think that people get the impression that you have to be wealthy or fancy or drive an amazing car.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, what I'm trying to create at Concorso Italiano is an environment where everyone feels welcome.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about driving cars, people say, oh, I'm not going to get my car concourse ready. And I said, I love driven cars. I love the cars that have been driven. I love the ones with cobwebs. One of my favorite displays in the years past was when we called them the barn finds. And we had old cars.
Yeah.
So I think what people need to know is that this is an event where you can come dressed up. You can come in a little summer dress, shorts, and you're going to feel welcome.
Yeah.
Where, I'm local.
Mm-hmm.
I love local people. I love tourists who come. And then every dollar you spend goes to producing the show or into our community.
Yeah.
So that's important to know.
I feel like I just want to say something. It's when I know some very wealthy people, and they're the most down to earth, regular dressing.
Oh, yeah,
you
the-
can't even tell
The
it could be
people
some
who have the
Pepsi
most
deal
money
and
are
they're-
not wearing Louis Vuitton everywhere.
Exactly.
They are the ones that almost you're like going, you have money? Really?
Well, I think people say, I don't know if I'll fit in. And I said, everyone
Yes.
fits in.
No, but
'Cause-
you want to feel comfortable when you
Yeah.
go to places, events, things like that, right?
Yeah, because you said that about driven cars. My two favorite cars that I see around, one is it's a Testarossa from Morgan Hill, and every time he brings it to the Ferrari event at the Barnyard, he never vacuums it out, and his dog is his co-pilot. And so there's always German Shepherd hair all over this freaking car, and I'm just
I
like,
love that.
I'm like.
Just a regular guy in
Yeah.
his car. He's
Yeah,
enjoying it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like the other day, my dog was like standing in the cup holder as we were driving. I mean, I'm just, there's got to be dog hair in the car, or you're not doing anything with it. And the other is a black Dino.
The Dino.
The black Dino, that it was a car that specifically the old man threw a bottle of Chianti at somebody about it because they originally dared to put a Ferrari emblem on it, and they tried to take somebody's dealership for it and everything, but it exists here. It lives here. Right. But yet he reveres the originality of it, not to put a second mirror on it on the right side. But he hates driving it because you can't make a right turn. Oh, wow. Or get into the right lane because you can't see through the back, and then you can't drive it solo and make a right lane change. And so and so those are two of my favorite cars there. It is just like the oddball stories about them. Yeah.
We have our mark awards. We do first, second, and third place for each mark, Italian mark that we have. We have some specialty awards, and one of our specialty awards is the Doug Mannion. Mm-hmm. And the Doug Mannion Award is given to somebody who drives their car, who really values the putting the miles on your car and the experience that they've had driving this fancy car that typically, because people who win the mark awards, it could be someone who's, where they have to trailer their car in because they have 0 miles on their car. Yeah. We've had that, but we have an award that is in the name of Doug Mannion because he believed in driving cars.
Oh, yeah. Well, and because, there's and I know his name, but I'm not going to, bust him there on this. There's a guy that owns a old 911 on Del Monte Forest. It never leaves there because he can't get the parts to make it smoggable anymore. Oh, so he just brings gas in and he takes it to the post office and back every day.
That's awesome.
But it never leaves Del Monte Forest because it's not allowed to be on non-private roads. And but he drives it every day. He found a way to make it work every day.
I love that.
And those are the people, and those are the stories, and those are the things that you see in Car Week. And we were talking about my friend Sergio, who goes to car events everywhere with his dog and his push cars, which is just kind of it's kind of an odd thing, but it's also kind of and if you want to crowd on a street, this is a guy that draws 20, 30 people following him around when he's pushing his dog in his push cars.
I would love to get a photo of his dog and his little push car with my Pomeranian Luca, who he put in his little Lamborghini that matches one of our cars.
You have a push car like that, or no?
Oh, no, it's a remote control one. Oh. So I have the remote control, and he sits in the car and cruises around.
How big is this car?
It's yay big.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to get you guys together because he has a few there. So Tanya mentioned earlier that you have a car worth noting that is your driver. What is that?
Oh, so one of our own cars?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So one of our cars is, we got it a few years back. It's a 2019 Lamborghini Huracan Performante.
Okay.
And that car, we've traveled to Europe and we've been to, Lamborghini, Ferrari. We've done the tours. We've seen how these vehicles are made. And that car, when, my husband got it, he was like, there's something special about this car, and how, they only make so many of each vehicle. I think, we have a few other cars, but, we don't drive them every day as much as we should, but, Sunday lunches and
that's why
dates.
That's why when we are ever doing that, we always put the list at 1,000 miles a year, because if you have 5 or 6 cars, man, you can't drive each one of them 50,000 miles a year. But 1,000 shows you're taking it out of the garage.
We actually went to a Cars and Coffee about a month and a half ago, and I was actually able to drive that car on the racetrack of Laguna Seca.
Yeah.
And I was like a little kid, like so excited, smiling so big. But we couldn't go as fast. We had the pacer cars leading at the back. But, it was a fun experience.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, try going over 11 down to 12 in minivan, in a Dodge minivan going 112. So I mean, that's
I could imagine. I could imagine.
It
the
was
Lamborghini sticks to the ground.
Yours is at least sort of made for that.
It felt like it stuck to the ground, but I can imagine if I'm going that fast in a minivan, I would feel some type
my friend
of way.
My friend Chris was like, "You did not do that at 100." I said, "I did," and he's like, "Do you have a death wish?" And I'm like, "Maybe, maybe all of them come off the wall. Yeah, it'd be great. That would be great." And so so I'm just kind of, is there anything else that we should know about these events other than, where do people find out about, the dual ticketing and such like that? Let's make sure that we're talking about that for sure.
People can go, for us, you can go to internationalcarweek.com, concorso.com, or thepaddock.com, and there are links to purchase tickets for our dual registration and dual ticketing prices.
Okay. And is that the same for International Monterey Motorsports Festival? Your website has the link for the dual tickets as well? Or?
We actually just have it on Concorso Italiano's website.
Okay. So they can share the link. We're just kind of putting this out there now, but they can, I'm sure worries. They'll have it on their website soon. But for now, they can go to internationalcarweek.com and it'll lead you to our dual ticketing. I encourage people to do that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
No, definitely.
Absolutely. So any other big things that we should be looking for this year that you can tell us now, or are we waiting till the end of the month?
I would say stay tuned because we have a lot of announcements. We're just not available to. We just can't. We can't let it out.
I mean, we're 100 days out. No,
right.
We're 100 days out. But
I know it's coming. Stay tuned.
No worries. Wait, and I'm just going to read Abby's notes, see if there's anything she gave out. No, she's covering the page. No, I'm just teasing. Okay. No, don't tell them that.
Oh, this is important.
But what's important there?
So this is the 100th year anniversary for Ducati.
Yeah.
So we will have some really nice motorcycles. We have that event book, commemorative event book, and our poster.
I have a friend of mine that does some of that. Nick Hurray, I'm sure you're familiar with him. Yeah.
Nick. So we have this year our cover will be a Ducati, which was a collab with Lamborghini. So we're doing a photo shoot this weekend of that motorcycle, and then our artist, James Caldwell, will be painting it, and that will be the model for our cover as well as our poster.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, so we're excited about that.
Yeah, that's cool.
100 years of Ducati.
100 years of Ducati. Yeah, it's you really, it's lost on some people how, when you start talking about, some of these things, like 1903 was when Ford started the assembly line and the Model Ts came out and all of that. And then we've gotten past the 100 years on a lot of these things, but it's also still a new industry in the fact that there are industries that are like multiple hundreds of years old. And
if you have not been to the Ducati factory, I encourage you to, because you see from the bicycle, basically.
Yeah.
We took photos of everything. We went 2 years ago, and it was the most beautiful thing. The factory tour.
Yeah.
It was, you couldn't take photos. You had to wait until you got in their little museum section. Yeah. But the factory itself, of seeing, Ducati being born, and they say marrying, the engine to the bike and everything, the whole experience, it's fantastic.
Yeah, and I've been to both Harley museums. The Milwaukee is good for seeing the early days.
Right.
Kansas City is where they make every bike they make there.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, there's the road glides. You're like going, all right. And then of course, if you're going in there, you're like, okay, if I put a couple of those wheels in my pockets, that's amazing. But no, going through the factory and seeing the manufacturing process that goes into some of these things. And when you go to Lamborghini, you realize that they actually do hand hammer the bodies of the aluminum bodies over the frame still.
See the hand stitching.
Yes.
All the ladies, and it's crazy because those cars are such a work of art. And some people just buy them because they're cool and, oh, this is a cool car. no, once you actually know and see how they're actually built and the love, there's people who have love and real passion for cars, and there's, the YouTubers who just buy them just to drive them because it's a cool car.
Well, yeah, it's if you ever go to do, and Ducati is a little more mainstream now, but in the old days, like Lamborghini and like Ferrari, the fact that they hand make these cars, and then you if you go to the factory, you realize why it is you can't get parts.
Yeah.
Because you're like going, oh, okay.
They are works of art because if you see them up close, there's a plaque on the cars with the signature of the people who actually hand hammered the cars and made them.
Yeah.
This year, visiting both of our events is Valentino Balboni.
Love Valentino. He's amazing.
The nicest person. We our award for the Balboni Award that is given out every year at Concorso is being made in Italy right now by someone that is molding it and painting it. It's a 2 to 3 month process, and it will be hand carried here to give somebody at Concorso Italiano by Vincent Balboni.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, so that's another
Go
great,
Valentino.
Yeah. I mean, and there's so much to like. There's so much to do. I tried to count one year, including the unofficial but 100 people or more parties that they throw. The manufacturers throw, different groups throw, all of that.
The brand houses.
The brand houses and things. We one year counted 200 events.
Wow.
And they were like, oh, we still didn't do this. And they were like, okay, we're done. It's 200 events. Okay. You cannot actually go to everything at Car Week, but mix it up a little, try some different stuff out. If you're doing some stuff, try some other stuff, because that also A, keeps it fresh, but B, it lets you know that, hey, look, there is so much out there for the race fans. Yes, it's truly a big thing. And as we talked at the beginning, it was because the Concours d'Elegance exists, and then they had the races that they made Laguna Seca, because people owning houses in Del Monte Forest didn't like race cars ending up in their front yards when they didn't make a corner right.
You know a lot of history about Car Week.
It was, and
we can have another chat.
We're going to interview him next time.
Well, because
and like in 1955, when James Dean was driving his car up here that he was going to race, what's weird is when they tell you about it, they say in Salinas. And it's like, it wasn't a race in Salinas. He was going to race the race at Pebble Beach, and when they still held it over at Pebble Beach before they built Laguna Seca. And he ended up passing away at an intersection on 46 on the way, which, by the way, is until they do that overpass. I don't know how often you drive through there. It is still one of the most dangerous intersections in the world. I mean, it is truly dangerous. But they're making it so that you don't have to do a stop sign into people going 90 miles an hour anymore, which may fix some of it. But that there is that much history of it. People don't see a lot of the history around here. Like, all the people that, called this place home. It's not just Clint Eastwood. It's not just, it's just people like that. It's, Bing Crosby lived in Carmel Valley, which is why the PGA Pro-Am was at the Pebble Beach Golf Links, which is why we're going to be blessed next summer to have the U.S. Open again, which is why we had the Concours d'Elegance in the first place, which is why we now have Laguna Seca. And these are the things that, hey, the traffic, yeah, okay, maybe it's an ish, but then also you can park over by Home Depot or in Home Depot, take the walking path downtown and get everywhere around town. It's not that hard. If you're determined and you know where you're going, it's not that hard to get around. And and Abby is just crazily trying to get Tanya's attention. So we're going to end that here. Thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next time, Tuesday, and then we'll have more of a normal schedule with Taste Test Tuesday on Wednesday, next week right here on Santa Cruz Voice and One Season in the Sun.